Hi, welcome to the video. I'm Melissa, I write books. It's Sunday morning today. The reason for this precarious intro is because we gotta get moving. I have not filmed in like almost a week, but I have been writing and I am about 57,000 words into my fantasy novel, and I think if my chapter math is correct, I'm 2 chapters away from the end of Act 2. And I'd kind of had this goal of getting through Act 2 today by this week, because it's Sunday, so it's like the last or the first day of the week. I kind of think of the week as the Monday through Friday, and then the Saturday, Sunday is like I either catch up or get ahead from what my goals were for the writing. But also with this book, it's hard to tell because I don't know exactly how many chapters there are or exactly how many words there are. So I'm just most of the time I'm just like writing every day and just getting what I get, you know? And I have been averaging like 2,000 words a day this week. I've really been in it, and I think I could finish this act today, not the book, but we still have 2 weeks left of October, and I could definitely do Act 3 in 2 weeks. I honestly think I could do it in 1 because Act 3 for this book is pretty small. As of right now, I haven't really like looked at it super in depth, but there isn't really all that much left of the book because it is the beginning of a duology, and so it does end on a bit of a cliffhanger, and so like typically you have to resolve everything, and while there is resolution of the main plot, there isn't like we pretty much end this book on like a cliffhanger. So like we're in the middle of Act 3 basically for one character, the other character finishes it if you're looking at like Save the Cat arcs, but we're not talking about Act 3 yet because I'm not there yet. I can't think about Act 3 yet, actually, because there is like quite a bit that's happening there, and I just need to get them. There's a very defined Dark Night of the Soul in this book, and I feel like I'm there almost, and so that is my goal for today. But each of my chapters has been landing around 2,000 words, and I'm not just writing them, I'm also editing them before I move on to the next one. Honestly, the last few chapters have been like 2,800 words, and so it might be a little ambitious to say that I can write and edit 2,000 word chapters today, but I'm gonna try my darndest, frankly. It is about 9:30, it's about 9:30, and I have found that I've been working in 40-minute sprints, and most chapters I can write like the full 2,000 words in 2 40-minute sprints, and then it usually takes a third 40-minute sprint to edit through the whole chapter. Typically, sometimes it takes less time, sometimes it takes more. I would need to do if I want to do 2 chapters, then it would be 2 chunks of 3 40-minute sprints, which is kind of a lot. I think I can do it. This morning will do 3 40s kind of in a row. I think I will clean a bit in between them because I need to clean. Are we shocked? And then I will go to the pool and then come back and do, I think, 2 40s, because then it'll be, it is also Sunday, so I do want to like relax and fold the laundry and like be chill, and then I will go to church in the evening, and so I'm thinking I'll finish up that last 40-minute sprint after that, like in the evening, like around 8. So girl. Bars. Okay. crazy work. This is crazy work. Flashback. I could do flashbacks. It's kind of fun. I'm gonna do a flashback in a minute. Such a banger. Okay. Ah. Girl. So I didn't set a timer. I just, and I think I've mentioned this like 17 times, multiple places, but I have been listening to just the Four Seasons by Vivaldi, and it's 42 minutes long. And so I just like use that as a sprint, and I know like when it ends. So if I get to that point and I want to stop, I can. But I was really in it, if you couldn't tell, and the chapter ended up being 1,700 words, and I just kept, like, it just kept playing more music, so I just kept going. I don't know exactly how long I was I call it a sprint because I just, like, was writing the whole time. Probably an hour and 20, an hour and 10, maybe an hour. I don't know. It was less than an hour and a half, but it was more, for sure, more than 40 minutes. Like, I think, I don't really know where I am timeline wise now, but regardless, I am going to edit through this next section. I think I'm going to eat first just because I'm going to the pool afterward and I don't want to, you know, you're supposed to wait after you eat to swim. So I'm going to go eat and then come back and edit through this. I honestly don't think there's gonna be, I mean, there will be typos because I was going so fast. And there's like maybe 1 or 2 spots that I wanna add a little bit more to, but I don't think it's gonna take a full 40 to edit through because it's also shorter, which I kind of knew. Like my average chapter before Act 2 Part 2 was like 15 to 2,200. And honestly, the last 5 or 6 chapters have all been like almost 3,000 words, pushing 3,000 words. And so it does make sense to me that we're gonna have a few chapters here that are shorter because we're going back and forth a lot more. I think that Dahlia's next chapter is also gonna be pretty short because it's not like 4 events happening, it's like 1, which was the same with this. It was like 1 main thing happening. So I will be editing through just for however long it takes, and then I'm gonna go to the pool and come back and try to write the next one, the next chapter, because I'm pretty sure that the next chapter is for sure that, yes, it is. It's the Dark Knight. It's always tricky with dual POV because it's not his Dark Knight of the Soul, but it's hers, but she is the main character technically. And his Dark Knight of the Soul is like almost right at the end of the book because it's a cliffhanger ending. And so like we can't really like resolve everything. But in terms of the romance, like their collective romance Dark Knight of the Soul is this next section. Yes, it is.
Found myself in a cardboard box, feelings hidden deep down. I found us back now.
It's like 9:30 p.m. and my camera's dying. One sec. If I remember correctly, I was updating you. I was about to go to the pool. So I went to the pool and I realized that in my swim bag, I didn't have my goggles or my swim cap, which I don't really swim without those because girl, I'm not getting water up in my eyes. People who can swim in the chlorine and open their eyes, I don't understand who, what, where, when, and how, and why. But anyway, that was a kind of a derailment of my day, I fear, because I really required the pool to like be sane. Not sane, but like it's good for me to go regularly, to kind of, it's like a place where I work through like all of my thoughts and feelings and emotions. I've talked about this many a time, but I was in need of doing that. And so then when I couldn't swim, I was like, let me just spiral. But it was fine. So then I went home and I tried to write, and it was like 3:00 by the time I ended up getting home. Somehow, I don't know how that happened, but I would like 8, and then it was 3, and I just had a mental breakdown, and it was fine. Then I went to church and got back around like 7:45. And at that point I was kind of just like, well, I'm just gonna call it for the day, because it just ended up being kind of a crappy day, and you know, that happens. It's unfortunate, but that's just like the way life goes, in the words of Gracie Abrams, you know? I push my luck, it shows. Anyway, but then I was like, you know what? This Dahlia chapter, which is the last chapter in Act 2, Part 2, for me, if like later I might read the book and be like, that's not the end of Act 2, Part 2, but like, this is the end of Act 2, Part 2. It is definitely her dark night of the soul. So that's all I'm really counting. And I was like, you know what? There's not really very much that even happens in this chapter. I think it'll be short. Let me just sit down and try to get a first draft of it that I can edit later. And so I did. I sat down and I wrote, it's about 1,000 words. It's pretty bare bones. I will go back and edit through it in the morning. And then I also did like kind of a rough chapter by chapter outline for the rest of the book till the end, because the thing about Act 3s, especially in fantasy novels, is like you have to like really think about logistics a lot. Usually it's like, we're gonna escape. I'm like, how are we gonna do that? How are we gonna do that in a way that's exciting, you know? So I thought through like what's gonna happen in this finale, like how are people actually going to get to the places that I've plotted them to be, like tangibly in the chapter. So I did a little bit of work on that, so I'm ready to get started on Act 3 tomorrow. But I did successfully make it to the end of Act 2, Part 2. The book is sitting at 58,000 words, which I think is good. No, the next chapter is definitely the break into 3, but I think I might end up adding like 500 or 600 words to this chapter. And so then I'm guessing that Act 3 is, I don't know how many thousand words it's gonna be, you guys. I'm guessing like maybe 10 to 15,000 words left, and it would be really great to like, I think like between 70 and 90,000 words is where I would like to end this draft, and that's where it's feeling like it will. I'm glad that I'm gonna get for sure past 60. Like I think it'll for sure be 70,000 words, because I have all of Act 3, and that's for sure gonna be 10,000 words. Like there's no way it's not, because there's for sure 5 chapters left, for sure. Probably more like 7. But that being said, I have a feeling I could maybe finish this book this week. I don't have much going on, and I would like to be busy, and so this could be how I'm busy, you know, is writing this book like crazy. So I am feeling good about what I wrote. I'm glad I sat down and just finished it out. Were they the most amazing words I've ever written? No, but they were good. Like they were what the scene needed to be. And so they're a little obvious, if you know what I mean. Like it's very like, this is what happens. This is where we go. This is the conversation we hear. And it's like not very crafty. So I think in the morning I will kind of do a little bit of work on that, but this is your sign if you feel like you're having a bit of a rough day. Sometimes I feel the need to categorize like, oh, this whole day is rough, this whole week is rough, this whole X period of time, but like really it doesn't need to be that serious. Like if you have a little mentee bee from 3 to 5, that it can just be that, you know. Really though, like 3 to 5 on a Sunday on my period, like I should have known. Like I should have just not planned to do anything, frankly. But I might vlog a little more tomorrow, ? But I did get to the end of Act 2, so maybe I should end it here. But that seems like it's kind of a little shorty vlog. I mean, you guys are about to get a lot of like 1-day vlogs coming up in November, hopefully. know I closed out the video, but as you might have deduced from the fact that this video continues on, we're continuing on because I'm sure it's short. Anyway, I'm gonna go on a walk, if you might be able to tell from my hardcore heavy duty attire. I'm on the break into 3, and the break into 3 is like maybe my favorite scene. Well, I don't know yet, I haven't written it, but it has the potential. All of the factors are here. Like, when I would write fan fiction about other books, it's about this specific circumstance happening. And so when I started writing a fantasy novel, I was like, well, I know what's going in this. And so I really want to be like feeling all the things in the zone. And I just finished up work, and so I think I'm gonna go on a walk listening to some just like drama, like Turning Page, I don't even know, all the people, and then settle in to write that scene. So let's go on a walk.
I just wanna go out on a walk with you. Baby, you know I just like to talk with you. You don't have to tell me anything that's new. I just wanna go out on a walk with you. I just wanna see your shadow next to mine, sailing over pavement with our 2 outlines. I like to see the shape you're in from time to time. I just wanna see your shadow next to mine. I just wanna see the same things you can see, understand the meaning on a new degree. Maybe that could happen when you're next to me. I just wanna see the same things you can see.
Hi. Hey. Okay, I just wrote for, I think, an hour and a half. Something like that, I don't know. And I wrote, honestly, it took me a moment to get into it. It's kind of the first time I breathed for the day, you know. It's actually really not true. I went on like 2 walks. But I was writing and I just kept getting like distracted thinking about other things. But I was still writing, and I felt like the scene was going in a good direction until we got into and it still was going into the direction, but it felt kind of distracted until we got to the moment of, it's a reunion scene, of like when they're face to face. And that's when I felt like I really clicked into the scene. And it's always so funny because the thing I had been thinking about related to me, not related to writing or the scene, like really made sense for them. And I just felt like I could relate to her. So like, not really at all actually, but like to her deep-seated insecurity and fear and misbelief. And the chapter was from Cecil's point of view actually, but I think showing her in this state and helping her through it, I was a little like, not disappointed, but as I was writing most of it, I was like, this is fine. It's like fine. But then I got to the ending and it just like really, it really clicked into place, and I'm really happy with it. It's about 1,200 words. I'm gonna be editing through it tomorrow, and so I'll probably bolster that to 1,300, and bolstering it will get me to almost 60,000 words. I'm like 400 words away from 60,000 words. Good morning. Hi. Good morning. It's Tuesday. Time to edit this chapter. Current word count 1675. The time is 7:10. We're at about 50 minutes. My cue yesterday, you guys, my cue was so good.
throw another log on the fire. Let it burn.
Hi. Okay. So, I plotted out. Okay, I say plotted out. The book is plotted. I looked at the last part of the book and I chaptered it out. So I figured out how many chapters are left, and I think that the answer is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. There's 9 chapters left. And I don't know how long any of them are. Truly. I think the next chapter is maybe gonna be, no, I don't know. I really have no idea. Truly. I'm guessing one of them is probably gonna be like a 3,000 word chapter, but I don't know. There's a lot of song and dance that needs to happen in this section though. I was kind of like blocking out all of the things I needed to fix in Act 3 because, not even fix, but like do in Act 3 because yes, it is the first book in a duology, so we're kind of ending things on a cliffhanger, but like I need to resolve the plot of book 1 first, obviously, and I know how it resolves, but then you have to like do all of the work of like, how do we get this all done, you know? And so I think it's gonna work. The like literal logistics are insane. They're insane. I do think one of these chapters though is going to be like 500 words or 200 words. So it's more like 8 chapters. I kind of am feeling delusional, like I might be able to get this done in a week. It is the 21st of October as I say this, and I kind of would love to be done with this book on Sunday. Is that crazy? I think I could do it because really I have a free weekend, and so today's Tuesday. I've already done 1 chapter today, but I think I could do another. Like I have this time over my lunch and then this evening where I could do a chapter, and then even if I have to edit that chapter in the morning, I'd still have time to do another. So I for sure have time for like 1 chapter a day. So Tuesday for 1, Wednesday for 1, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So that is 5. So I just need to figure out how to write 4 chapters. And then if I write 2 chapters on Saturday and 2 chapters on Sunday, that is so doable. Because then I would have the whole last week of October to really plan and plot book 2 before November starts. My camera's running out of space, but that's kind of my plan right now, and then we'll get into writing. Okay, hi, I need to wrap up this session and get back to work. I wrote about, I think about an hour probably more like 40 minutes. I don't know. I set a 40-minute timer and then I wrote, but then I got distracted. Sorry, I got distracted by a movie trailer. Don't ask me how I saw a movie trailer while I was writing. I just did. And so I watched it. And then I maybe looked at my bank account a few times just to make sure that everything's still in there, you know. And my eyes are so blue today. Oh my gosh. Okay, but I wrote about 1,200 words. I think this, I didn't realize it, but this chapter is very much in 2 parts. And I wrote basically the first part of it. And the second part is just like, it's just all the feels. Like the first half, it was very like logistical, like we gotta move, we gotta do it, we gotta deal with this situation. So then they dealt with it, and now they're like, where I'm leaving it, they're kind of having a moment of reprieve. And so the second half of the chapter will be their moment of reprieve. We love to see it. We love to see it. So I'm gonna write that this evening. I should be able to finish the I mean, I don't even think it's going to be that long of a conversation. I could see finishing this chapter in another 40, and then I mean, tonight I literally have nothing going on, so I could do a 40-minute right at like 6 or 5 even, and then do another 40-minute and edit through it all. And maybe, dare I say maybe, if I'm feeling up to it, start writing another chapter. I don't know, everyone. It's interesting. I feel like I've really gotten into a habit of writing the whole draft of the chapter in one sitting. Like I feel like the last 4 or 5 chapters, let me actually double fact check that. Yeah, honestly, the last 4 or 5 chapters I have written the first kind of like from beginning to end in one sitting in usually about an hour to an hour and a half. But I like most of this book, I wrote the chapters in multiple chunks, but it felt, I need to go back to work, but I was feeling like, oh, but the chapter's not done. I don't want to leave it. But I'm on chapter 29 and I got to count here. There's going to be 37 chapters in the book. So we're almost to the 30 point. Woohoo. Oh my gosh, I think we probably broke 60K for sure. 61,109. Woohoo. Okay, let me try to do math. If there's 8 chapters left and each of them is going to be, I'm going to average 1,500 words because I think some are going to be shorter and some are going to be longer. So let me do 8 times 1,500 is about 12,000. So it would like, yeah, I'm guessing my final word count, my prediction is like 73,000 words. I think I for sure will hit 70 because if I'm already at 61,000 and I have 9 chapters or 8 chapters left, like each of them is for sure going to be 1,000 words. And that in itself is almost 70,000. Honestly, I think the next chapter is going to be, that one might be 1,500 or 2,000. The next one is going to be 3,000 words. 100%. She's going to go through like 3 locations and find people and talk to and like explain and then come up with a whole plan. Like that's going to be for sure 3,000 words. And then the next one, probably 2,000 words. And then the next one maybe is shorter, 1,500. And then the next Cecil chapter is going to be like 500 words. And then hers is going to, yeah, it's for sure gonna be 75,000 words. 15,000 words in a week. I can totally do that at this pace. Like today alone, this morning I edited through a whole chapter, added probably 400 words, and then I did 1,200 words in like an hour. And I have like, this is the ideal life of me, is that I have time to write. I feel like the last few weeks I've just been having a lot of things to do. Is that even true? I think I've had the same amount of time. It's just been busier. I feel like there's been like a reason why I couldn't write a lot on all the last weeks. And I still have been writing about 10,000 words a week. So it's not like I'm doing nothing, you know? Like last week I was on my period. The week before that, what was even going on the week before that? Probably nothing. Let's look at a calendar. I just feel the need to come up with like excuses for myself. Oh, that was the week I went to the eye doctor. That was not a terrible week. Just kind of like a annoying week. And then last week I was on my period, and then the week before that I had work all weekend. So now I feel like I'm cooking with gas, but I need to work, so we can't talk anymore, okay?